is my distinct honor to introduce our final speaker for this evening, the governor of the great state of Maryland, our governor, Wes Moore.
Thank you all. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What's going on? Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot tell you enough what a joy it is to be here, and I cannot tell you what a joy it is to watch what I just watched, which is now watching my friend Johnny O taking over as the new president of MACO. Mr. President, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. I know this organization is not in good hands. This organization is in great hands. And we are so thankful, because to step up and lead is challenging, to step up as lead is difficult, and that's what you've continued to do throughout your entire career. And the organization and the county and our state is better because of it. Bless you and congratulations and thank you. I'm also grateful and humbled to have a chance to watch my dear friend take his first job and duties as the president. Calvin, county exec, we celebrate you tonight, not just because you visited every single county in the state of Maryland, which is bad. I'm very impressed, man. We celebrate you because you continually find new ways to serve, and you epitomize what it means to lead from the front, because that's where leaders are. Leaders lead from the front. And I know that every member of Michael's remarkable team can testify on behalf of the fact that you've earned their respect, but also I can testify on behalf of the state of Maryland, you have earned all of our respect. And so as a token of appreciation, I want to present you with this flag. This flag was flown over the State House on the last full day as your tenure as president. And we want to say that just the same way that flag flew high, that's also how your leadership showed out. So congratulations, Mr. Ex-President. So I know, Calvin has very big shoes to fill, but Johnny's like 6'8". So the organization is in great hands. Michael, to our executive director and your entire team, no governor could ask for a better ally. From the very first days in office, you let us know that we would always have a friend in MACO. And I want to say very clearly, you're always going to have a friend in the State House too. And we're grateful for your leadership and for all you all continue to bring. You know, this fall we reinstated the tradition of welcoming the MACO team to Annapolis to discuss the upcoming legislative session. We are excited and proud to do it. And I want to give a big round of applause to the 2024 MACO Board of Directors. Could the MACO Board of Directors please stand so you can be recognized? And also just want to say Hag Sameach to those, this being the first night of Hanukkah. And just say, for those who are celebrating, and no matter your faith, I'm sending greetings from my wife, my First Lady, and our state's First Lady, and saying that we wish each and every one of you a wonderful and a blessed holiday season. I do want to give another quick thank you and take a personal point of privilege. I want to say thank you to my team. You're not going to find a team that runs harder. You're not going to find a team that is more loyal, that is more protective, that is more brilliant, that's more thoughtful, that has sacrificed more. The amount of evenings that I know that I look at the time stamp of some of the emails that you all have sent out, or the text messages that you have sent. The fact that I consistently get feedback from so many of you in this room about how unbelievably responsive this team is and hard charging. I want to let you all know from the bottom of my heart and say it publicly. I appreciate you with everything I have. And thank you so much. I'm grateful because this time of year just gives an opportunity to talk about gratitude. And I know I am completely filled with gratitude when I think about this room because I feel grateful for the trust that we have built over the past 12 months. You trusted a new administration with a new leader who had never held public office before. You trusted a new way of thinking and a new way of working together and trying a new set of ideas that might not have been tried before. Trust is not an easy thing to put into words. But when you feel it, you know it, and you appreciate it. And I felt the trust that we have shared over these past 11 months and the trust that we have shared in good times and in bad times and in challenging times and in celebratory times. I have felt that trust at ribbon cuttings. I have felt that trust at groundbreakings. I have felt that trust at bill signings. I have felt that trust at funerals and memorials. I have felt that trust as we stood together in the wake of natural disasters. And I felt that trust as we stood together in the wake of human disasters. You've earned my trust. And I hope that we've begun to earn yours too. But I do know that in this moment, and in many moments, trust can be tested. I know, because I've heard from, I think, each and every person in this room, that on Tuesday, since we released our budget proposal for next year's transportation budget, there's a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts. And that includes funding for projects that will move Maryland forward. But our ability to invest was constrained by one simple truth, that Maryland is facing significant structural budget shortfalls. I believe the course that we've taken is the right one. But I want to spend just a few minutes just to explain why, in a sense of trust. Because trust demands transparency. And trust demands truth, even when it's hard. And this evening, I want to try to offer both to you and to the people of this state. And if there's one argument I hope I can make clear before I leave the podium, it is this, that in this challenging time, we have a duty to act with discipline. Because discipline is what the people of this state deserve. And by acting with discipline, I believe that we can build a better state in the long term, and we can strengthen those bonds of trust, which is the foundation that each and every one of our jobs and responsibilities and every single day we're in the work, that's the foundation that it stands on. Not just the bonds of trust between you and me, but the public's trust in the work that we're doing together to serve them best. Now, to understand the path forward, we all also need to understand how we got here. We need to talk about the challenges in our communities. We need to talk about the challenges of discipline in this moment. And the reality is, I don't have all the answers right now. And I'm honest about that. But I do know this. If we face these budget challenges together, we're going to emerge stronger. And we will prove to the people of this state that we can deliver. The story of how we got here, I know it should sound familiar. The budget problems started long before I or even many of you were in your seats. Of the last 20 state budgets 17 needed cuts to stay balanced. Since at least 2017, the Department of Legislative Services has forecasted a structural budget deficit. Maryland and every other state in the union has benefited from billions of dollars in federal money to get us through the COVID emergency and to support economic recovery. Record highs in the stock market brought in tax revenue that kept the budget afloat. Extra money in the short term could pad the budget. But extra money in the short term never fixed the budget. It was a mirage. And that's not partisan. It's facts. So now we're forced to reckon with structural challenges that have plagued our state for years, and the reality is we are not alone. I can tell you right now the conversations that I have had with other governors around the country. Indiana is facing a $500 million transportation funding gap over the next decade. New Jersey is facing a $1 billion gap. Michigan is facing a $4 billion gap. So, I know this did not happen over the past 11 months for myself or any of these other governors. I know this was not a problem that our administration created, and to say that is not partisan, it is math. But I want to be very clear. This administration is going to refuse to ignore it. And we refuse to push policies that are only going to make that worse and hand something worse off to our successors. We might not have caused the problem, but we will address it. I said that before I was governor when I was here last January as governor-elect. I said it when I unveiled my first budget in January. I said it in August, as President Olszewski said, in Ocean City. If we do not make some hard choices now, Maryland's budget challenges will grow. And what does that mean? We're going to have fewer resources to supercharge our economy. We'll have less power to actually win the decade, and the public will not trust us to use taxpayer dollars responsibly. Trust. I've traveled to all 24 jurisdictions in this state over the past 11 months. I'm grateful to so many of you and so many in this room who welcome me to your counties and towns to show me the things that you see every day. And I want to let you know that I remembered. And I also know this, that as we were going around all throughout the state, Marylanders would tell me that our state is not meeting its full potential. Maryland right now has a C grade in infrastructure. Our number of five-star public schools has steadily declined since 2019. We've seen how our predecessors presided over transit lines that were late and over budget and unfinished. Just today, light rail cars in Baltimore that were purchased years ago had to be taken out of service because they were deemed unsafe. That happened hours ago. Marylanders feel like they're paying a lot, and they aren't getting the best in return. I believe we have a responsibility to invest in our priorities, but first, we need to build a strategy for investment that shows the public that we can deliver results in sustainable ways. And here's the hard truth, is that we have spread ourselves too thin. Setting priorities does not mean let's do everything all at once. Let's focus on what it means is let's focus on the things that matter most, and let's focus our efforts in that direction so we can deliver results. And the truth is, you know what I'm talking about. I'm seeing a lot of heads nodding. You know what I'm talking about because you have to deal with it all the time. That's what county executives do. That's what local leaders do. That's what executives do. Executives like Commissioner Jack Wilson and his colleagues, they know how to prioritize. They focus on investments in manufacturing and trade industries because that's what will lift up Queen Anne's County. County Executive Jessica Fitzwater, she knows how to prioritize. and her team over in Frederick, as she created a new agricultural office to preserve farmland and generate more economic activity in rural Frederick. County Executive Mark Elrick, he knows how to prioritize. And his team over in Montgomery County, who has transformed Montgomery County into one of the most sustainable and vibrant communities in the nation by making strategic investments in solar. Each of these leaders I just mentioned and so many more have had the courage to elevate certain priorities over others. And it's why your constituents trust you. You make hard choices. And you keep your promises. But I know that sometimes we inherit things that might not be consistent to where our values are leading us. I think about our predecessors who turned away making hard choices on what should and should not be prioritized as a state government. So we say we'll invest in everything without the resources to do it. We put everything inside of budgets without a plan on how to pay for it. And the budget gap is the result. So at a time when Marylanders are feeling squeezed and skeptical, we need to do more than tighten our belts. We must rethink how state government actually does business. Now that work is not going to happen overnight. Our administration is still gathering a deep understanding of where the structural gaps exist and why we continue to come up short year after year after year, but we must start doing the hard work now. And that's what this transportation proposal is about. And look, the state of Maryland has been funding transportation the same way for a decade. Now, I might be new to politics, but I'm not new to budgets. I might be new to politics, but I'm not new to balance sheets. If the CEO of a company is using the same anemic business model for 10 straight years in a row and their business hasn't grown, it's time to rethink a business model. And if your governor uses a transportation formula from 10 years ago, we will not be able to solve the problems of the future. We will be stuck in the past. The Transportation Trust Fund has become so outdated that fixing it requires a comprehensive look at how we fund transportation in the first place. The people of Maryland chose this administration because they wanted to change how state government works. They chose the administration because they know it's time for us to do the hard thing over the easy thing. Papering over problems, kicking the can down the road, and simply asking people to pay more for things that they do not feel are working, that is not hard. That's actually easy. The hard things means actually fixing a system that's broken so we can lead and not simply sustain. I'm convinced that in cooperation and trust, we can do the hard things as a state. And we can win. Unquestionably. But making the hard choices does not mean simply stop solving problems. In year 2, we will keep saying yes to many of the priorities that we focused on in year 1. Yes means continuing the all-out assault and bipartisan assault that this state needs to make on child poverty. And in 12 months together, we have lifted over 34,000 Maryland children up the next rung on the economic ladder. Yes means elevating our state's assets. So, for example, because of the investments that we have collectively made together, Baltimore is now a federal tech hub and a federal workforce hub, which will bring tens of millions of dollars into the city for infrastructure. Yes means partnering with our federal leaders. And that's why we've secured billions of dollars in federal investments to drive growth, including investments in rural and urban broadband. Yes means fighting to bring the FBI to Prince George's County. And let's be clear, we're not just talking about the fact that this is going to be responsible for over $4 billion of economic activity. We're not just talking about the fact that this is going to be responsible for over 7,500 jobs. We're talking about the fact that this decision, and now that it is coming to Greenbelt, will solidify Maryland as the cyber capital of this country. Yes means engaging in an all-the-above approach when it comes to public safety. And that means actively supporting local and state law enforcement. It means amplifying coordination and technologies. It means cutting recidivism. It means prioritizing job training from Western Maryland to the Eastern Shore. And today in the state of Maryland, violent crime is down, homicides are down, non-fatal shootings are down. Working in partnership will deliver results, and we will continue working in partnership to deliver results. Yes means making Maryland the state that serves. And this year, together, we launched a first-in-the-nation service year option for high school graduates. And I have had the opportunity and the pleasure and the joy of meeting many of these young Marylanders who are now working in your communities. From Vincent in Hagerstown, who's supporting community health at Horizon Goodwill, to Truth in Baltimore, who's working at the Community Law Center. We've seen them in their red shirts, and we know that our future is going to be bright. That's a little bit of what Yes looked like in year one. So here's a little sample of what Yes is going to look like in year two. Yes means making Maryland the best place for businesses to invest in data centers and infrastructure, and that will drive a technology economy, and I plan on introducing a bill that does exactly that. Yes means addressing the workforce shortages in law enforcement so we can do a better job of keeping our communities safe, and I plan on introducing a bill that does exactly that. Yes means making housing more affordable for Maryland families, and we will be unveiling an entire package focusing on housing that does exactly that. I plan on introducing about a dozen bills this year. Eric, Luke, y'all know where you're at. We're going to be busy, man. Together, collectively, with our remarkable members of the General Assembly. I see you, Senator Kagan. Together, we're going to build a more competitive economy. We will protect and elevate our communities, and we will position our state to win this decade. We will meet these goals with data and discipline so we can keep our promises and strengthen public confidence in government. We're going to get this done together. The work does not stop. The partnership does not end. This year will be hard, but I've never been more optimistic about the future. This year is going to be difficult, but I can tell you right now, we're not flinching. We don't lose. That's not what we do. This is Maryland. We win. And we're not going to stop. I have always believed that you never learn anything about anybody when times are easy. When times are easy, they can show you anything. You ever want to learn about somebody? Watch them when times are tough. Watch them when they turn the heat up. Watch them when they're sacrificing. Watch them when there are no good decisions left. Watch them then. You really want to understand somebody's mettle. Don't look at them when it's simple. Look at them when it's hard. I know as we enter this season of discipline, I want you to know how much I respect you. I want you to know how much I trust you. I want you to know how much I see you. how much I hear you, that you are always going to have an open door to me. And I want you to know how much I need you. Because I'm convinced that Marylanders are going to look back at this moment and they will see that we had the strength to make the tough decisions. They will see that we chose hard instead of choosing simple. They will see that we honored their trust in us, not just in words, but in deeds. And they will recognize that the sacrifices that we make, it'll all be for the benefit of unlocking remarkable potential in future generations. Can't do this without you, but with you. I know we're going to build a state that leaves no one behind, and we must. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your partnership. And thank you for your trust. May God bless all of you and your families during this holiday season and our great state. God bless you all, and thank you so much.